I'm going to have to cut that whole segment out because he said it. He said the word. I'm feeling some type of way. But before we go any further, I got one more thing. Where we at? We are right here.
He's the funniest guy who gets the job done. Likes how to's renovate, so fun. Man, he's so crazy, better pick up the thumb.
Lamar Wilson, a.k.a. Jackson, had a career day against the Detroit Lions yesterday. Career day. It maybe not, but it felt like it. The Detroit Lions got a lot of work to do. I didn't see Brad Holmes high-fiving anybody. Did you? Did you see any high fives, Detroit Lions fans? Let me make something very clear. I am not off the bandwagon, okay? I'm not turning coat. I'm not saying that we can't do everything we predicted. What I'm saying, y'all don't understand me, okay? Not only as a Detroit Lions fan, as a Detroit Lions, a Detroit native, and I've grown up in Michigan my entire life. You know what we have to deal with for the next 8 days. It's already began last night in the national narrative is who really are we? I know who we are. We know who we are. Brad and Dan knows who we are, or do they? Right? I have been saying on this platform since the day I took my first breath on YouTube talking Detroit Lions that a pass rush is the key to a weak secondary. A weak secondary. I am upset because when it comes time to play a team who is better prepared, has better talent than us, are we going to be able to match up with them? Now, I asked a question on Detroit Lions Syndicate last week. It baffled me. As a matter of fact, let's see what the actual reality is. I want to go to my poll, and I get real chippy when we lose. I do, man. Losing sucks. Losing sucks. Is it an overreaction to say fire Aaron Glenn? Now let's hold on now. Before we go there, you know what? Let's make this a segment. Okay, so we coming off. All right, we coming off a brutal loss against the Baltimore Ravens. And I've heard the word humbled, like we needed to be humbled. Humbled for what? Because we won 4 in a row? Because we beat teams that we should have beat. Why do we need to be humbled? Because what? We were saying Super Bowl? We were saying number 1 seed? Yeah, we were in competition for the number 1 seed. Aaron Glenn, okay? People were saying he needed to be fired. And then I was not one of those people. I was saying he needed to show consistency. So you're like, okay, well, he showed consistency, right? Against who, though? See, now is the question of who did the Detroit Lions play? You and me both know that for the next 7 days, there's going to be, well, wait a minute now. The Lions lost against a true AFC opponent. But wait a minute. So now those 4 wins before that, isn't it like they don't even matter? You and me both know we woke up this morning. Nobody's talking about the 4 wins prior. They're talking about the brutal loss to Lamar Wilson and the Baltimore Ravens. Nothing else matters. It is how good you were your last game, right? So now we go and we host I'm not even excited about Monday. Monday is a game we should win. Can we beat the Chargers in LA now? Can we beat teams that actually win games, right? That's it. I'm not going down this train, so I don't want you to go down there. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, as a native of the city of Detroit, a fan of the Detroit Lions for the past 20-something years, I know what happens now. The narrative starts to shift. Everyone who is on the bandwagon has jumped off. That's why it's called bandwagon, because as it's running into fire, you have the opportunity to jump off. I'm not jumping off. I'm simply saying we know what's going on. And now, yesterday was a true test of this team. Dan Campbell kept it a buck, said we got our butts kicked. They came out. We did exactly what we weren't supposed to do. We didn't trust in our teammates. If Lamar steps up, then everybody comes up and leaves the most wide open receivers you've ever seen. Wasn't it like we're looking yesterday saying, what's happening? So is it Aaron Glenn? Is it the players? Is it a little bit of both? We go into halftime 28-0. 28-0. Yesterday's performance. Are you going to blame Aaron Glenn? Are you going to blame the players? Who are you going to blame? That's what I want to know. Because similar to the sacks that we got, Do you know that the Detroit Lions rank 18th in sacks? But we're going to talk about that in another time. Aaron Glenn, who's to blame for yesterday? Was it he fell off? Was it just a bump in the road? Or is it the root of a deeper problem whose name is Aaron Glenn? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Robin Ness says no adjusting. Blame everyone. Nick says everybody. Yesterday was on the coach and personnel. We still have a run. Rick says everyone. The problem is AG, that he doesn't make adjustments. He's going down 14-0. He didn't pull Will Harris or adjust. Okay, Mackenzie, but who are we supposed to put? Gilmore? We supposed to put Gilmore in there? I mean, like, what are we supposed to do? That's what I want to know. So we have to see consistency, but what we have to see now is winning against good teams. Now you understand why we went into Baltimore underdogs, because nobody believed in us. That's the loss. I get over it. I get over the loss. This is not about a loss for me. It's about how we lost. It's about who we lost to. It's about why we lost. That's the part that bothers me, because, again, nobody's going to remember the previous 4 wins in a row. Nobody remembers that we haven't lost 2 back-to-back in over a year. Nobody cares about that. They just care about, because I guarantee, notice that there's no asterisk by this game, is it? Think about this, Lions fans. This is why I despise me. I despise, it's detestable to me when we talk about losing. I despise it. No asterisk. The media didn't give us an asterisk yesterday, did they? That our players were out. We don't get that. It doesn't matter. We lost by 32 points to a team that everybody perceived to be better than us. And yesterday they showed that they were. We didn't even get off the plane to play. Yesterday was one of those games. It was Carolina 2.0. Just nothing was going right. And oh my God, I don't even want to get on the announcers, but we're going to get into that. Let me know what you think. What does yesterday prove? Does it prove that Aaron Glenn needs to be fired? Does it prove that he's not the right man for the job? Is it on the defense personnel? Is it on Coach Dan Campbell? Who is it on yesterday? It's a team loss, that is sure, but it's somebody to take more blame than someone else. All right. Yesterday, I like Greg Olsen. I think he's a fantastic commentator, but I'm wondering if the NFL gave him a script to read that was called the Lamar Wilson script, okay? And Ravens fans, this one's for you. When you watch this on playback, I will call your quarterback Lamar Jackson when he wins his second playoff game. How about that? And in the meantime,
he's the funniest guy who gets the job done. Likes and how-tos, random bits, so fun. Man, he's so crazy, better pick up the thumb. Lamar Wilson.
I'll call him Lamar Jackson. That is the last time I'm going to refer to him. And shout out to the real Lamar Wilson, all right? He the man over there. But I'll talk about that quarterback when he wins his second playoff game. We'll go there. Where we at? Let me pop this out. Blame everyone. Brad Holmes to blame for not beefing up our pass rush and secondary. Coach's fault for preparing that he's a little better. You know what? Let's talk about it. You know, I love y'all. I love y'all, right? I love y'all. I think, the comment section is the reason why this is fun. But at the same time, it could be a bane in my existence. So no disrespect to the person that put this out, but they left a comment about, I brought up Broderick Martin. And the response to me bringing up Broderick Martin was to stop bringing up Broderick Martin. Because apparently he was a reach. He got overdrafted. We shouldn't have taken him. Okay. All right. So is Broderick Martin a fail? Why is he not in the game? In a game that we have a running quarterback who really didn't run yesterday because there was no reason for him to run at all. Why run when you can sit back there and pass to everybody? I think my grandmother was out there. catching balls. No pause from Lamar Wilson, okay? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is Broderick Martin, why is he on our team? I haven't lost faith in Brad. I'm simply saying, where is he at? And the whole balls per pause thing, I like to do that for fun because I think it's stupid, but I don't, usually say that. But today I'm feeling some type of way. There's a little salt in my breakfast this morning. All right. Why is he not out on the field? Why is he not on the field? Another day inactive from Broderick. Now, you might be like, this dude lost his mind. Yeah, it happens. It happens when you're tired of losing. It happens when you lose a game that you weren't given a chance, even though you were 5-1 going into that game. It's a game when you have a asterisk coming from a guy who lives in the state of Michigan, who gives your team an asterisk because they were down 2 of their best players. Of course, I'm going to be upset that we actually lose to a decent team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, were they really that good? Let's go back, shall we? Let's talk about, if you look back, because see, now the questions are coming, aren't they? Aren't the questions coming, ladies and gentlemen? Aren't the questions? We beat the Chiefs, asterisk. We lost to the Seahawks, good team. We beat the Falcons, who were 2-0, by the way, when we played them. They were a good team when we played them, right? But now they suck, don't they? But they won yesterday. Didn't they beat the Buccaneers? So which one is it? Are they a good team? Are they a bad team? Are we a good team? Are we a bad team? Where's our identity at now, right? The grit and all that stuff is still there. But now these questions are going to start because we lost to a team that nobody gave us a chance to win, right? So this feels worse than if we would have lost to KC, don't it? Don't it? Everybody expected us to lose to Kansas City. This feels 10 times worse because I can't even get started. Now, let's move up. Next team. Who's the next team? Oh, yeah, that's right. The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. What happens? We beat them. Oh, man, Kings of the North. Here we come. Here we come. Then we beat the Carolina Panthers, who they all look like babies out there. Brian Burns, welcome home. Okay, come on home. Now, here we go to Tampa Bay, a good team. They've got a week off. They're coming off a bye week. They're the NFC South leaders right now, and we beat them. Gritty win. We get the dub. Then we come back. We go to Baltimore, who, by the way, I don't think Lamar Wilson has ever lost to the Detroit Lions. Ever. Have a chance, and we just decide, you know what? I don't know if Jared Goff his mind was maybe, he was thinking about Kristen. I'd probably be thinking about her too. I don't know. All I'm saying is, where was our team at yesterday? And where is Broderick Martin? Where is he at? Why is he not on the field? Why did we draft him in the 3rd round? For the future? Okay. Couldn't we have taken, was he that good of a defensive tackle that he was a can't miss? We had to trade up to get him. Now, what you hear from me is critique. It's frustration. I still have the trust in the organization. I still have the trust of the men put, but when we start losing, man, that's when it come out. That's when it come out. All right. But I've been keeping it a buck with y'all since I've been on this platform. It ain't time to ring the fire alarm, but we got to ask some questions. Why is Broderick Martin on the sideline playing McDougal? What is it? What's the thing? What's the Etch-a-Sketch? Why is he a grown man on the sideline playing Etch-a-Sketch? I don't understand that. When you were drafted in the 3rd round. Can anybody tell me why? Can anybody tell me why Mr. Martin is playing Etch-a-Sketch on the sideline? If you know the answer to that, let me know. Let me know. Lamar 2-0 against Lions. Never lost. Why did the Lions draft Hooker? Could have had another defensive player as well. Traded 3 picks for him. My interregional Brad Holmes, like the FBI, Martin not playing because could have got Mozzie Smith instead of Broderick. We got Hooker because Jared is limited. He showed that yesterday. We're not going to do that today. David, I don't know. It's actually Lamar Wilson's theme song. He made it. So shout out to all credit goes to Lamar. That's a great question. Why is Broderick Martin on the sideline? Apparently we will bounce back, but this was embarrassing. Okay, John. And you know what? That's the point I'm trying to make. David, you got that, huh? You got the reference. All teams have bad games. That's true. But this what I'm trying to get across to y'all, right? I'm trying to get across that this is more than a loss. This yesterday was a test. It wasn't just a loss, it was a test. They've been testing us since we started against the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, now the loss yesterday negates the 4 wins we've had. You don't believe me? Guaranteed we drop in the power rankings. National media ragging on us, right? Lions fans are starting to, I mean, we coming. We are coming, bro. Psychos, we coming. That's all it takes is one loss. We talk about, but I'm going to be real. I talked about being humbled in the earlier segment. Why do I think the Lions need to be humbled? I don't even think the fan base needed to be humbled. I think yesterday was a reality check. When the team, you have to understand something. The Detroit Lions are we are used to losing. Winning is new for us. Maybe some of us were arrogant. I don't know. I don't feel like I was. I don't feel like a lot of Lions fans that I'm around or talk to were arrogant. We were winning. We were winning close games. We were winning games. We usually lose. It's not being arrogant or haughty. That's being confident. And we actually thought we could go in and beat the Ravens yesterday. And if our team would have shown up, maybe we would have. But I think what yesterday it wasn't humbling. It was eye-opening. It exposed what we need on our team. There are 3 positions that we are in dire need of. Priority number 1, pass rush. Priority number 2, running back. Oh yeah. Mohammed's done. We have 0 reserves. We have a injured David Montgomery, and shout out to Jahmyr Gibbs, man. His first tutty yesterday. Had over 50 yards receiving, 50 yards rushing. He was the lone bright spot in a otherwise miserable day. But what it did is expose what we need. And we need a cornerback. We going to have to take one somewhere. Didn't one just get cut by the Steelers or something? I don't know what. We need to pick up somebody. Yesterday, to me, wasn't humbling. It was eye-opening. It was revealing that our team needs pieces that I've been screaming about, some of them for a while. Oh, Derek, that's right. We're not going to trade for anybody. Again, hold on, because I forgot to bring this up. And I'll start reading the comments in the section, in a second. I'm all over the place this morning. Let me go to my channel. I'm going to go to my community posts on my other channel, and I'm going to read to you what this poll said. You ready? This poll is from 4 days ago. Can the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl with their current roster? Current was in all capital letters. We had 2,300 votes. We had 61% say yes and 39% say no. Here were the choices. Yes, we good. No, we need at least one more piece. And we had 61% of Lions fans saying that with our current roster that we could win a Super Bowl. Can't win no Super Bowl if you can't get to nobody. You can't win a Super Bowl. You can't beat the good teams. It's time for Brad. Stop high-fiving people, and that's right. I'm going to be mad. I'm mad at you right now, okay? Stop high-fiving people. Get on the phone. Get on the phone. Call your boy Quasi. You and Quasi like this. Y'all dapping it up. Y'all making trades for Jameson Williams. Y'all making trades, right? Dap it up and go get Danielle Hunter or somebody. Danielle Hunter leads the league in sacks. It's time to make a move. When we lose, this is how I get. When we lose, especially when we lose because of something that I've predicted for years. It's time to make a move. The reason I tell people I don't care what you think is because I'm trying to save you the trouble of putting it in the comment section. That I'm not going to change my mind when you put a comment in there. I'm also not going to try to change yours. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to read the comments. I'm here to give you my opinion, and you're here to start your own YouTube channel and talk about it, right? It's time for Brad to go crazy, okay? Go out. Do what you got to do, bro. Get on the phone because you was pounding the table for J-Mo, right? Woo! Woo! Well, pound that table and go get a edge rusher. Jameer, woo! I ain't no hate on Jameer at all. None whatsoever. Pound that table, get on the phone, and bring us a dog because it's time. We are in the middle of the pack in edge rushers. The middle of the pack. See, most fans you're not going to see. You're going to see the corporate ones like this, the ones that walk around and say everything's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. We need help. If you want to win this year, we need help. You think we're going to beat the 49ers? You think the Eagles have the best line in the game? You think we're going to touch Jalen Hurts? Nobody can stop the tush push. Do you think we're going to be able to get to stop them if we can't touch him? Pound the table. Go get an edge rusher. Brad Holmes. Stop high-fiving people and go get one. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood, y'all. And let's not talk about Jared Goff today. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Jared Goff threw the ball 53 times and had 1 interception. That's pretty darn good, don't you think? They have 5 sacks. They lead the league in sacks, which means they get to the quarterback. Our offensive line, you know what they was doing? Were they doing the cha-cha slide yesterday? Was it to the left? Take it back now, y'all, because that's what I think I saw yesterday. One hop. That's what I saw. I saw the cha-cha slide on our offensive line. Penei Sewell, love him. Yesterday was a really bad game. Good people and players have bad games. Okay? It's facts. Not everybody's going to win all the time. Not the best player. Michael Jordan had a bad game. Calvin Johnson had a bad game. Good players have bad games. If you're a Detroit Lion, you can't afford to. That's just it. You can't afford to. Hutch getting held every single play. You know what the offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens? They was Watson out there. All you needed was the Watts music. That's all you needed. They two-stepping out there because they're like, you know what? Why don't we hold him? They're not going to call it, but why do we care? Because nobody else is going to get to Lamar Wilson. Not a single individual is going to touch him. I don't like losing. I do not like losing, and I definitely don't like losing when everything that I've been saying has come to pass. If we had it, I would say, you know what, Brad? This ain't Madden, but you know what? Let's pretend. Let's pretend like it is. Go get Derrick Henry. Go get a pass rusher. And you know what? Fine. Go get a wide receiver. Go get a wide receiver. Because, you know, we don't need a wideout either. We don't need that, right? We don't need that. Everything got exposed yesterday. Everything that we need was put on blast yesterday. Ravens got the QB with 2. Everything went bad in one game. Vanoy has 3. Clowney has 3. Goff was carrying the offense that game. If you put Lamar Wilson on the Detroit Lions, I bet we could score more than 6 points. Not sure. Brad gets caught up in wins and refuses to accept there is things to improve, and that's his biggest flaw as a GM. Also, third round picks, and also trading for wide receivers. Speaking of wide receiver, what's y'all thought on J-Mo? What's y'all thought on J-Mo? I had a question with an individual last night, and I'm not going to say who the person was, but I have a question. And again, this is a conversation. This is what we're supposed to have. That's what makes the 5 months of football great. That's what makes us fan. Fan is short for fanatic. I'm not a fanatic of anything because a fanatic is like a Looney Tune, and I am not. The only Looney Tune I know is the cartoon, all right? I'm not a fanatic of anything. But what I am is a supporter, an avid supporter, a guy that drove to Kansas City to see the Lions win by 1. It was worth every single second I spent in that car. I almost fell asleep at the wheel. That's my bad. I got to go to bed. I got to make sure I get sleep before I get on the road. But when do you, as a Lions fan, when do you start to, I made the illustration last night. You're a first round pick. First round pick. This includes Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me make that very clear. You're a first round pick. Okay. You have four. Well, let's play the bus game. Right? This is a good one. I made this up last night. You're a first round pick. In my opinion, the only round that can have a bust label, because you are one of the 32 best players scouted coming out of college. And this is like general NFL scouts. This is team scouts as well. There are people's jobs who all they do is scout players. All right. So let's play a little game. Jameson Williams. He had 6 targets, 0 catches yesterday. 1 hit him in the face. Now you could say Jared Goff was under duress. Okay, cool. Right? Again, it's what you do for me now. It's not what you do for what you did for me last week. You have this win last week, fine. But let's play the bus game. And this is a safe space for this conversation. What you say is what you feel, and I am not going to try to change your mind. If you have bust, right? B-U-S-T. How many letters of bust have you slapped on Jameson Williams? Is he at a B, a B-U, a B-U-S, or is he a full-blown B-U-S-T? J-Mo is a wide receiver without hands. Dre Bly needs to steal him off the offense. Maybe he'll be worth his draft selection. Just a thought. It's a good question. J-Mo is Butterfingers. No. Josh is the only one that actually followed instructions. Where is he on the bust? If you had to slap the bust label on him, just slap the bust label on him. You had a bust sticker and you slapped him on the forehead, right? How many letters would you slap? Would you slap a B? Would you slap a B-U-S? And I'm not advocating violence, obviously. This is all for fun and games. I'm feeling some type of way today. Would it be B-U-S or B-U-S-T? Which one would it be? Nate says B-U. Roger says B. B-U-S, B, and half of you, Michael. I like that. That's funny. You get this, bro. I like that. That's a good one. He's not a bust. Y'all tripping. T, stay. Hey, T. Your argument going out the window. There's nobody who has to prove anyone wrong but Jameson Williams. We can defend him. I can call him a bust the day he was drafted. You can call him a bust right now. It ain't nothing he can do to change that except deliver. That's it, bro. BU cuz almost there. I don't think the Lions have planned for him to be a part of the offense enough to start labeling him a bust. Well, Ryan, here's the thing, bro. And this is no disrespect. You know you my homie. Appreciate you, bro. But here's the thing about the NFL. We do not care. The NFL does not care what the Lions are doing with Jameson Williams. Detroit Lions fans, most of them do not care. Because if he was drafted in the first round, he needs to be an immediate asset. Period. That's it. That's what the first round is for. Here it is that DeAndre Swift goes to the Philadelphia Eagles and well, golly, we made a mistake, right? That's what a lot of Lions fans are saying because he's balling out over there. He's on everybody's fantasy teams. He's on mine because I knew if he stayed healthy, he would ball out. And guess what? Well, not only has he stayed healthy, he's behind the best offensive line in football, but he was a second-round pick. Jameson Williams was drafted 12th overall. Jameson Williams is making $7 million this year. Jameson Williams, whether you or I like it or not, can be titled a bust by anybody at any time. That's y'all right and y'all decision, okay? When you are drafted in the first round, the patience is like lighting someone's hair on fire. It's gone. What do you say? Kaiser Soze? And just like that, it's gone. It is gone. And to me, you know what's funny? I'm going to take you back to 2020. The draft jingle goes off. We draft Jeff Okudah, 3rd overall. And year 1, year 2, year 3, you know what the argument was? Year 1 and 2? It takes corners 3 years to develop. It takes corners 3 years to develop. As of right now, Jameson Williams is somewhere between a B and a B-U-S-T, right? And that's just the facts. That's just the facts. He has 17 opportunities every single year to change the narrative of the Jameson Williams narrative. Right? He running out of time. That's all I'm saying. At this moment, let me ask you, the fan, right now. You a business person right now. Business people, usually they leave their feelings outside. You might not get into a business relationship with your best friend because it ain't gonna work out, right? So put your business hat on, put your general manager hat on, and pull up to the table, straighten up your tie. All right, straighten that tie up. Make sure you don't got the dirt around your collar, right? And you ask yourself, right now, are you picking up Jameson Williams' fifth-year option? Right now. I don't want to hear about he has time. I don't want to hear nothing else. Right now, if you had to make that decision right now, do you realize that Jameson Williams is a few games away from the Detroit Lions, from being at the halfway point of the Detroit Lions making a decision on whether or not they pick up his fifth-year option? Because you do realize that happens at the beginning of year 4, right? So he don't have his whole rookie contract. He has 3 years to prove he's worth year 5. Nick says, yes. Say yes, says Gibbs. Patty, no, negative, yes. Nah, no, I'm not. Well, wait a minute. What happened? I thought it was too early, right? So we in that little middle ground. We are in the middle ground. It doesn't matter that he was hurt year 1. That does not matter. I'm sorry. That's just the way that I look. This is a safe space, though. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can say whatever you want. We all fans at the end of the day. It ain't no right answer. This is all to vent, right? But the reality is, the Detroit Lions, when you're playing in the NFL, you have to produce. It needs to happen. So I'm not here to call Jameson Williams a bust. I'm not going to call him that, right? I will say I like that. B.5 of you right now. This is what I'm going to do. We're gonna have some fun. The worst case he could be at the end of the year is a BUS. And then his entire third year, he'll have to either retract that. I'll have to bring out my magic eraser and erase off the S and the U and the B, or I'm going to go ahead and scribble in that T. Because if he does not, I got a question for y'all. And I want you to think about this on playback. I asked this to a person Friday. We were having a conversation. Is Chase Young a bust? Is Chase Young a bust? What do y'all think? He was drafted right before Jeff Okudah. Is Chase Young a bust? Gibbs says yes. Nick says yes. David says no. Wynn says no. Chase Young is absolutely a bust. What's up, RG? I heard you loud and clear. Young has produced. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's getting there. Okay. All right. Answer that question on playback. All right, so I asked the question, is Chase Young a bust? Is Chase Young a bust? He's in year 4, okay? That's a hard question for some of y'all. Let's put it in, let's do a poll. Because I want to know this. Because see, this is how you start to gauge Lions fans. Is Chase Young, and see, is Chase Young a bust? I see why y'all get frustrated with me. Yes and no. At the end of the segment, I'll tell you what I see. Is Chase Young a bust? Now, this came from the Jameson Williams conversation. All right, the poll is up. I'll go by what the poll says. Stavzilla says Chase is doing his thing. If they trade for a first-round pick, no. Bro, he is not. Seems divided. Yo, that was crazy. You blocked me yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. I was at the live watch party. I have no idea. Why didn't Washington pick up his 5th year? Okay. That's not the question, though. It's not the question. The question is Chase Young a bust? Is he a bust? Do you think he's a bust based off the 5th year? You time me out? Okay. Hold on. I was entertaining. I did not time a single person out yesterday. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. You mean in the live stream? I probably did. Because I know what you was talking about, so I thought you was talking about me. He was until this year. Okay. All right, so what do you need to not be a bust? Okay, so let's talk about the bust qualifications. What do you need to be? You know my bust qualifications. Only first rounders can be bust. Okay. What is your qualification of a bust? I asked if Chase Young was a bust. Okay. Says injury prone can constitute a bust. All right. Okay. When he's been healthy, he's produced and you can see he's good. Yes, he was injured and not productive. So he a bust because he drafted 2. Consistent. Based on injury, he's a bust. Okay. So that's still kind of wide. So let me just book in Chase Young. Now, why are we talking about Chase Young? 1, because I'm on him on the team. 2, because we have the Jameson Williams comparison. Okay. So let's bring in another guy, Jeff Okudah, drafted directly after Chase, certified bust, right? Certified bust. Okay. Chase Young is a bust because the chat says 70%, 76% no out of, and 24% yes. We got 46 votes. He's like J-Mo, both guys been hurt. Okay. Now, here's the way that I qualify a bust. First round pick anywhere between 1 and 32. Okay. But I'm really going to kind of scrutinize 1 through 15. 1 through 15, especially at top 10. That top 10, you're going to be under magnifying glass. Okay. So the question is Chase Young a bust? I'm going to say no. Why would you say, well, how can you say no? Well, if you book in Chase Young's career thus far, you have Defensive Rookie of the Year. You have an ACL injury. That injury has not fully healed. And when it did this year, guess who has more sacks than Aiden Hutchinson as of the making of this video? Chase Young. Hard to call Defensive Rookie of the Year a bust. It really is. He came in, did what he was supposed to do, took a brutal knee injury, healed from that knee injury fully, by the way, and is producing on a pace to outdo his rookie year. Okay? Now let's compare that to Jeff. I got a nickname for him. Some of y'all ain't gonna like it. It's called Jeff O'Busta. Jeff O'Busta, as in Jeff the Bus Okudah, right? It seems like when we start talking about Lions fans, you cannot use the B word. Who you calling a bus? UNITY. You cannot use the bus word. I don't see how a guy, when healthy, who's producing after winning Defensive Rookie of the Year is a bust. I can see, however, a guy who has barely taken the field in 2.5 years, and when he's out there, he's hot potatoing with the ball. Now, I'm not going to give him the bust status, but I understand if you do. And I'm not mad at you. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Chase Young, if you're saying he a bust, that's your opinion. This is just a nice little debate among fans of what qualifies a bust. For me, first round pick, production, and injury. If you produce when you're not injured and you haven't been injured, you haven't been in a career, you haven't been in the NFL but 4 years. And in 4 years, he has 12.5 sacks when he's actually out there on the field. Can't call that a bust. I cannot call that a bust. Aiden Hutchinson is in year 2. Aiden Hutchinson has 13.5 sacks in year 2. And he ain't even done with year 2 yet. If Aiden Hutchinson would have got his knee caved in, okay, in the Carolina game and was out the rest of the year, would you call Hutch a bust? And if not, why? And if so, why? It's a good conversation, man. Can't dispute those facts regarding Chase. I think he's a bust. We love Hutch. Okudah was hurt all the time, and when he was on the field, he never produced. Young, on the other hand, has produced when not hurt. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying. And we ain't talking about a bruise here or a toe jam stub there. We talking about a brutal knee injury that takes a solid year to recover from, right? Now, if it happened again, Emmanuel Mosley, but he's something different, right? I just think, and this goes in defense of J-Mo to some extent, right? It ain't for me on whether or not Jameson Williams is a bust. If I think he's a bust, which I don't yet, that's not for me. That's for him to prove on the field that he's not that. I don't come up with this stuff. I did not create the title. I'm just the guy that talks about it. Jameson Williams' job is to change the narrative. If you're late to work every day, you gonna get fired. Period. It don't matter what position you're in, unless you own the company, you gonna get fired. That's it. If you're an employee and you come to work when you feel like it, when you were hired to do a certain job at a certain time, you're not gonna have that job for long, right? Are you a bust? Probably at that job. I think sometimes we got to take the emotion out of football. It's hard. It is hard. But sometimes we got to look at things. We want the guy to succeed, and every opportunity, it's like every one thing he does right, he does 10 things wrong. And I don't care, because the NFL will move on. We did it with Jeff Okudah. We did it with DeAndre Swift. We're going to do it with him. We're going to do it with him. It's up to him to change the narrative and change his story. I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm telling you, man, what will Washington get in a trade? That will determine whether he's a bust to Washington, not as a player, maybe as far as draft position. We need a pass rush, but I think we need cornerback depth more. Okay, Gibbs, I can see where you're coming from. Hold on, let me pull out this tweet real quick. Okay, so check this out. This happens every time we lose. Lions have been put on lists to be flexed out of primetime games. Yeah. And y'all talking about I'm the one that NFL not for long. This is the same. They didn't give us a single primetime game last year. And even when you could start flexing, they still didn't flex us until it mattered for them. And now you start losing, they ready to get you up out. The NFL in a business. Y'all acting like, see, that's the thing. You know what? But that's what makes us who we are. What makes us fans is the fact that we can't see what we need to see, which is Jameson Williams and every other Detroit Lion have the opportunity. We can't see. We're so in Brad, we trust. In Brad, we trust. And it's okay to trust someone, but it's also okay to be like, are you sure? Are you sure? You sure you got this? Because from right here, it don't look like you do. From right here, it looks like we need to trade a pass rush, right? I remember that I had a natural fit when we drafted Jameson Williams. And this ain't about J-Mo. This segment ain't about J-Mo. It's about the position in which he was drafted. Y'all ain't tell me my microphone was falling over. Okay? I'm moody today. You got to tell me this stuff. All right? It wasn't about that. It was about the fact that our defense was horrid. And it started last year. We fired Aubrey Pleasant and everything turned around. You didn't even know. Did you know that Brian Branch was out there yesterday? Only because he wasn't on the injury report. His name wasn't even mentioned yesterday. That's how much of a non-factor he was, just because of the position that the Lions defense put him in, and the offense as well. Khalif Raymond cramped up. Our running back room, that's okay. We've got Monty. We've got Gibbs. We've got a deep running back room. We have no one anymore. We are depleted. We went and pulled up Mohammed, and now we have nothing. Nothing. Pass rush makes the CB better. They test the Dolphins for drugs before Baltimore. Kenny Golladay is more of a proved guy after Detroit. Kenny Golladay is not in the league currently. We will get another primetime game. Trust me when we get back on track. OT, we still got primetime. They can only flex Sunday. They can't move our Mondays, and they can't move a Thursday. So whatever Sunday game or 425, that's what they're talking about. One bad game, a couple of trades can fix that. Grit, facts. But now, okay, so the end, I forgot to bring the segment, but it looks like the majority of you feel that Chase Young is not a bust. Okay, so let's talk about this then. This is a good question from, and I've been talking about this for a while. Gibbs says Brad needs to stop shopping at Five Below and spend some bread We just need one or two more players on that defense. Okay. So my question for you is, the trade deadline is in 8 days. 8 days, almost to the very hour. We'll be talking about this. And it's gonna ramp up. I've heard a couple names this morning. I'm not going to divulge, but I did hear a couple names, and I will say this. They do directly address what we've been talking about today. 100%. Now it's just a matter, which is the purpose of this question. Do you think that Brad Holmes makes a move at the trade deadline? This is a two-part question. If he doesn't, how do you feel? So the first question is, the first part of the question, do you feel genuinely that Brad Holmes will make a move? Charles says, missing Jerry too, just got home from work. Vash, what's up, man? If we don't make a move by Monday, it's going to be interesting. Brad needs to go buy a Mercedes. David says, hey, Derek, what do we do if Brad Holmes does nothing at the trade deadline? Somebody answer. What do you do? We drafted a DT, moved up to get him, and why are we trading for more draft capital at the same position? I'm not trading for a defensive tackle. Studios, I'm not trading for it. You don't watch my show? Because you must not. I'm not trading for a DT. I mean, at this point, give me anybody. Give me anybody on that line. I take anybody. If I had a choice, I'm taking an edge rusher outside because of everything you said. And we got Josh Pascal, who came back yesterday. So for me, I'm trying to get some help. Yes. Would love to get Jonathan Allen, says Dern. Not for a big name. Okay. Charles Harris will be included in the move for Young, and we would give a pick for Henry. What's up? Nate says, Chase Young, please, man. You screaming yesterday was totally what I was thinking in my head. Love the show, man. Hey, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. He's better, or he's telling us he doesn't believe this is the year to compete. Nate says he better, or he's telling us he doesn't believe this is the year to compete. That's a good one. Okay. So we are saying, Nate, let me get you to respond, bro. After a 5-1 start, so when you say to compete, are we talking all the way, right? We're talking compete with the teams that are going all the way, such as the 49ers, the Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. They got to put them in there. So right now, we're settling. If I just want to make sure, because this is a great talking point. If Brad Holmes doesn't make a move by the trade deadline, not just any move, but a move for a position we need, he's saying what? Is he saying we got a cap on how far we can go this year? And that cap is a division title, a playoff win, NFC title game. What are we thinking? Now, Brad is going all in next year. Compete is going all the way. I think they trying to wait for a fire sale. If he doesn't make a move, that means he's settling for the division title. That's all. If he does nothing, Heiss wants to get people into the playoffs, nothing more. He needs to do work to get that. Okay. Williams says compete as in a sure playoff team, but not a Super Bowl contender. I doubt he will make a major trade. Okay. What would you like to see? Nate says he's putting a cap on the team. They believe they can win the division and playoff layoff game because that keeps fans happy this year. Okay. Does it keep you happy? Honest question to Nate, everyone in the chat, all 94 of y'all, and the people watching this on playback. Is a division title enough for you? Do you need that and a playoff game? Do you need a playoff game? Would you like to see both? Give says no. Rainbow Girl says he said they are ready to compete this year, so there's no excuse for him not to make a move. Hunt You says Hunter and Sertan. Nah, skip that, 1 and out. No, we want to win the Super Bowl this year given the seeding potential. David says I'm in the middle. It doesn't make me happy. He's scared to be a year ahead. And you know what, Nate? That's a good point. And I'm going to say, he said 3 years, right? We're in year 3. We've been ahead of schedule. Year 1 was a tough year, but we've been ahead of schedule. And now we'll see. And again, yesterday when it was a big deal. Yesterday was a big loss. So here's where I'm at. Static says absolutely not, challenging for the conference and go from there. Division title and playoff win, depending on who we match up is. A playoff win and a division title would make me happy. T says he got to stand on that. So if you're ready to compete, you got to do something. And I think that sums it up. You can't be halfway. What are you competing for? To win games? Okay. We can do that. Because I remember a guy, and I want to go back there, but we've been competitive before, right? Jim Caldwell. Now I've forgotten about Jim Caldwell. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes have erased that from my memory. This is a whole new thing. But we've been competitive before. We need to establish a winning culture. And I'm not talking about winning 13 out of the past 16 games. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that we go on a 4-game winning streak. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm going to end the show like I started it. And we go into all the way to Baltimore with the wretched, and we underdogs. Yesterday was a huge loss. I've been right about a lot on this platform. And I'm telling you right now, the next month is going to go. November is going to be a big month for the Detroit Lions. They only have 3 games. They play the Chargers. They have 3 games in like 13 days or something like that. So before we wrap up the show, because I got to go get my kid running behind, here is what we're dealing with. And we got all week to talk about it. And we also have Monday's show that we're going to be talking about Monday night's game. November is going to be big for the Detroit Lions. We got to get through October 1st. So we got to get a dub. We lose against the Raiders. Ooh, it's going to be tough. I'm prepping you right now. I think we win that game. Raiders are terrible. We win that game. Okay. But does it really matter? It matters in the North. It matters for division purposes, staying ahead. But does it matter? Because the week after that, after we come back from our bye week, we play the Chargers, who are beatable, but they can also beat us. We go on the road. Okay? And then we play the Bears on the 19th, right? And then we play the Green Bay Packers. So in our next 4 games, we have a chance to really kind of separate ourselves. But then it's going to come down, because I'm telling you right now, the narrative after yesterday is going to be we can't beat the good teams. And if you look, Monday's not a good team. The Chargers, are they really a good team? And we're probably going to be underdogs to them. Okay, book it. Then we play the Chicago Bears, not a good team. Then we play the Green Bay Packers, not a good team. That's our November. Matter of fact, they don't have, our next 4 opponents don't have winning records. And when it's time to play a team with a winning record, we got to be able to match up with them, and we can't right now. I don't think we can match up. Any given Sunday, we can beat. I mean, the Niners lost last week to the Browns and PJ Walker. So, but then again, yesterday we scored 6 points. We had the 4th highest offense in the league. 4th. So it's going to be a tough week, Lions fans. We talked about a lot today. I appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to get to a point where the phone line's open. The whole point of the show was to take phone calls, live interaction with y'all. And it would wind up being therapy for both you and me, right? So we need it. We need it. Yesterday was a brutal loss, and it has more effects than you think. It's not about we had a bad game, we got blown out by the Ravens. yesterday was a weird day in the NFL. That's not what yesterday is about. This is about the setting the tone. And yesterday erased everything we did this year. Everything we did this year. The whole thing. Only thing it didn't erase was the record. But can you take the Detroit Lions serious? Probably not. Probably not. You go into Baltimore, you score 6 points. You let Lamar Jackson have one of the best days of his career. Now I'm watching, is he in the MVP conversation after his Week 7 performance? And our next 4 opponents don't have winning records. That's our November. So if we come out of November and we're 9-2, I remember a team. As a matter of fact, before we end the show, I'm going to take you back. What year? 2021, right? Wasn't it 2021? There was a team. Can anybody tell me the team that started off, they won their first 7 games. It's an NFC team. And I believe they got bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. It was either 2020 or 2021. Nope. Braylon says, screw what the media thinks. No, not last year. There was a team that started 7-0, 8-0, somewhere around there. I'll give you a clue. They were in the NFC. I just can't remember what year it was. Nope. It was in 2021, NFC. They started 7 or 8-0. And then they wind up losing. Finally, T-Stay Cold, the Cardinals. Their record was like 12-5 or something like that, right? I think they went 5-6 over their last 11 games or something crazy. They went 4-5 or something. I don't want to be that team. I don't want to be that team. The entire time that Arizona was doing that, people didn't believe in them. That's where we are. And for Lions fans, man, it gets old. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So, do I want us to win Monday? Of course. Do I want us to lose ever? No. But if we can't beat the good teams, does it matter? It's only going to make our schedule harder for next year. I'm not saying tank, but everything gets harder. And that's my final point on why Brad Holmes needs to make a move. Because everything gets harder from here on out. Your opponents for next year will be harder. You're not creeping up on anybody. You got to make a move, Brad. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you. Thank you, excuse me, for coming out to the watch party yesterday. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you next time. Peace.
Hello, good morning. Horns is blowing, and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.